Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And it's always nice to see old friends, but more importantly, it's nice to see and have people on that are truly helping make a difference in people's lives all over our area and more specifically, all over the diocese. So welcome back, Miss Amy Ponce. Thanks for joining us.
Keith, thanks for having me. We love being here.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And so one of the things that listen, we talk about it all the time, and you've been so good at being able to be one of those representatives that it's okay to be able to ask for money. And the reason is because we can only do stuff if we have it.
Yes.
Right? And
Resources
the diocese is part of that, right?
Absolutely.
And so I love the idea that this bishop stewardship appeal and the way that we go about doing that is very subtle. I love that. It says, here we are. This is what we need. If you can contribute, that would be wonderful. But I love the fact that there are so many programs that go with that.
Absolutely. And the appeal supports 5 key ministries across the diocese every year. And the diocese relies on the prayers and the generosity of our Catholic faithful to ensure that these ministries continue to go on.
Right.
And every single one of them, it touches every single parishioner in our diocese. So you may not have, a student in Catholic school, but our seminarians are serving as priests now in the diocese, and our priests who are now retiring are being supported by the generosity of our Catholic faithful.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't realize how large breadth it is of being able to impact every single person.
Yeah, and it's a really big deal. And so for those people that are able to get it, there was a very supportive email and message that we got. And so I love that's one of those ways that we can kind of reach out to people and just kind of get that message. And then there are mail outs as well for those people who are available through the different parishes. And so being able to just kind of say, this is one of the things that we need. We want you to be prayerful about it. We want you to kind of decide where you're led to give.
Yes. And Bishop Dorsonville, I know, unfortunately, due to his passing, he was really excited and looking forward to launching this appeal this year. And, back in the fall, he and I sat down to talk about what it looks like and what the ministries are. And he selected a handful of new ministries this year that he was just so excited about. So, this year's appeal is uniquely different than in the past because we're asking our Catholic faithful across the diocese and every single one of our parishes to consider those ministries that he selected this year. Seminary and education, retired priests in our schools have been part of the appeal for many years.
Right.
However, Colonel Catholics, our collegiate campus ministry at Nichols campus, is now going to be supported by the appeal.
Wow.
As well as our ethnic ministries. Not just our Hispanics, but our African American population, our Native American. We have a very large Asian Pacific, Pacific Islander population. Our Hispanic ministries being the largest of our ethnic ministries.
Right.
On average, every time they come together, they have about 500 Hispanics that come together, every weekend at the diocese to do formation ministries and to celebrate together. He was from Colombia, so he had a very special place in his heart for that. And I'm excited to see where that takes us.
Yeah, and just the opportunity for some of these other groups, some of these other ethnic groups to be able to be represented and be able to say, hey, we have a place for you here. And people haven't always felt that. And I love the fact that we kind of look back and the bishop at the time said, hey, you know what, let's do this. Let's find a way to be inclusive. Because that's what the Catholic Church is about.
We're so diverse. Right? Every one of us is just so different from the next. And honestly, every parish is so different from the next.
Right.
And, our campus ministry, we've had Colonel Catholics for many years. Many don't know that the diocese supports their focus ministry there and ensuring that the population is growing. We have 500 students in campus ministry at St. Thomas.
Isn't that remarkable?
That's the future of our church.
It just really is. And the fact that we're able to cultivate that when they go to school, because we know that the statistics show across the nation, very often when young people go off to school and they don't have a place where they feel like they can worship. Right. A spiritual home. What a great recommendation for that. And there, St. Thomas has said, you know what? We're gonna do a late mass. We're gonna do a late mass on Sunday. When you get back, no matter what time you come back, we got a spot for you.
Father JD is meeting the people where they are.
Right. Isn't that remarkable to be able to do?
It doesn't help that. It doesn't hurt that, a big kid is leading the parish. And Father JD either. Very relatable.
He just is. And just a great guy, too. powerful homilies in a real
Yes.
subtle way, which is just really nice as well. And let's talk a little bit about some of the things that they won't be able to see here. We've had to do some
Yes.
cancellations, unfortunately.
We were really looking forward to having regional receptions in 4 different locations, 2 this coming weekend and 2 the following weekend. Unfortunately, the diocese is going to have to cancel those receptions just due to a family situation for Father Simon Peter, and we're hoping that we can reschedule them at a later date. But we ask for your prayers for him and his family and the diocese, and thank you for understanding that he's going to get an opportunity to make his way around the diocese, but at just a little bit of a later time.
Later date. And listen, quite frankly, it's one of those things where we talk about it all the time. When we talk about the family of Christ, we talk about the family as a unit with Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. That's got to be first.
Family's
and
first.
So we've got to be able to respect and support that, because sometimes things come up with family. Life gets a little messy. We know how that is. Anybody who's raising kids nowadays and being able to do that. And we talk about the kids of all ages and what they need. But I'm really excited that Diocese of Houma Thibodeau is finding a way to truly do, and I'm going to just quote what you said earlier, to reach people where they are and really coming into honoring some of these new programs with the 5 missions that we talked about in the different areas, and really kind of meeting people where they are and seeing those people that want to worship and giving them the opportunity to do so. It's just a beautiful thing to be able to see. So, Amy, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Keith. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the HTB does. You're such a great partner for us.
Yeah, well, it's one of those big things. Family comes first for us here, too.
Y'all are family.
And celebrating our faith as well. Amy, thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment. Don't go anywhere. A lot more Bayou time and a lot more right here on HTV.